Good morning, everyone. This is the weekend update for Buy Sell Short. I'm going to go over some of our successes this past week and then some charts I'm really looking forward to next week. And of course, first stock we're going to talk about today is ReWalk, RWLK. We have been patiently sitting in this stock for the last month, maybe 3 weeks or so, waiting for the company to drop that FDA submission news that the CEO hinted about in his video interview back in early December. He said it would be within a couple of weeks. Of course, we had the Christmas break and then the New Year, and of course the government shutdown has really thrown everything up in the air. Most of the FDA is shut down, and one of the areas I believe that is still shut down is submissions. So this may be why we have not seen that press release yet. Anyway, let us talk about the chart. Very, very strong move late on Friday on RWLK. You can see this little dotted line here. This is the breakout that we are looking for, hopefully early next week. Now, the target when we initially got in this one around 20 cents and then added when it dipped under 20 cents was this 50-day moving average, which right now sits at 33 cents. Now, you can see on the chart here, a break of this line, and there is zero resistance on this chart till we get to that 40-cent breakdown that occurred back when the stock sold off in November. Looking at the chart, some of the things I've highlighted, our target here is 45 to 50 cents. We get that press release, it should be fantastic, especially with the way the chart is set up. We are looking at RSI. I'm going to do a video going over why these are the indicators that I've used. Over the last 20 years, I've narrowed them down to a few momentum indicators because we are, after all, momentum traders. And RSI, you can see here, it's about to break that 50 level, which is rather bullish. Now, I'm going to scroll down here and show you something that's really jumping out. And it's a tool I use not as often as I need to, but it's very useful when we see some trend changes, and that is ADX. And you can see right here, the very, very strong red is negative, green is positive. Red is a downtrend, green is an uptrend. And this black line shows you the strength of said downtrend or uptrend. Right back here in November when the stock tanked, we went into a very, very negative uptrend. You can see the red line exploding higher and the black line showing the strength of that. And that corresponded with this big sell-off. Now, recently, as we've seen, there has been a lot of buying. You see all these green candles here. This is buying strength, and we've seen an awful lot of that over the last couple of weeks. And you can see right here, opposite of what we saw back in November, we have now seen the green line cross above the red line, and this extreme negative trend is about to flip to the positive. And another thing that verifies this trend change, this is another indicator on balanced volume. It shows you the strength of the buying, and this is a really big positive divergence. So looking at all these things here, if we get this press release that we expect this next week, especially if the shutdown ends, a gap fill to 45 cents looks very, very good on this chart. So I'm hyped on this chart going into next week. Another new play that we hopped into on Friday was SNAO. Now, SNAO, little biotech breakdown play. You can see this nice trend line break that we briefly broke above on Friday, and now we close just below it. 50-day moving averages at 87 cents. What's that? About 14 cents, 10-15% higher, which is not bad in this market. But what I'm really eyeballing here on the move near term is back to the pre-November sell-off that this chart had. Like many, many biotech stocks, it was hammered in November and December with the overall market. The IBB has been up fantastic of late, and we'll go over that chart shortly. But this is the target we're looking at on this chart. Scrolling down a little bit more, you can see on the slow stochastics, it's another indicator, momentum indicator I'm using, up above the 50 level. This is the first time we've seen that since way back in the summer before the stock started its downtrend. So this chart looks really, really good going into next week. Another little play we had on Friday was Moxie. Now this is a chart I've been watching for really since the sell-off began back in November. We are about to break a very, very big trend line here at 50 cents. And if we get any sort of volume into this stock in the next week, we could be looking at a quick move to $1. That's, 50 to 100% potential upside. You can see the big spike in RSI on Friday. All the indicators look very, very good here. And what prompted this stock move was the big win we had in the other little China low float, SSLJ. This was a January popper play that we entered at the start of the year. Right now, big move over the last several days. Our target initially was a move back to this 50-day moving average, which was at 55 cents. On Friday, it hit a 65-cent intraday high, 100% plus mover. This is what I'm hoping to see on Moxie in the next few days. MLSS, an alert. This week, another beaten up biotech stock looking ready to break this 50-day moving average, which is at 46 cents. Chart looks really, really good. A break of this level next week, and we could see a quick move up to the 200-day moving average around 69 cents. That's a 50% move. That is nothing to shake your stick at. Really, really good. Oh, and I wanted to go back at SNOA real quick. Something I'm looking at as well on this chart. You can see here these big candles about every month or two. This stock tends to have a massive move to the upside, and we are looking right about that time frame for one of these big power spikes. I wanted to make a quick mention of that on SNOA. AMRH, this was a very, very nice mover for us this week. January popper play, we jumped in this one, 21 cents. It hit 32 cents on Friday, already a 50% move, and then we had a big late day shakeout on Friday where we picked up some more shares. Now, the big angle on this chart is in the earnings report in November, the company mentioned that they were in discussions with a top 3 cloud provider, and we were assuming this was going to be, the top 3 are Google, Amazon, Microsoft, etc. Well, it seems in their conference call, they let mention that it was Google that they are almost about to announce as their vendor, and they've already won a contract with a big Fortune 500 insurance company because of Google. So this big volume that we've seen in the last few days could mean that news is coming. Now, let's take a quick peek at the 15-minute chart. Updated here. 15-minute chart here. You can see this sustained move over the last couple of days, topping out at 32 cents, and then the big gap fill dip. Look at this, all the way back down to the 200-day moving average, deeply oversold. A press release, and they will be chasing this stock at $1 if we get that Google press release. And you can see we've got a massive gap fill here. Downside risk, a few pennies. Upside, we're looking at 20, 30, 50 cents potential. Those are the kind of risk-reward odds I love in a market like this. Moxie, we are still patiently waiting for this downtrend break here. Right now, it's about 19 cents. I would say 20, 21 cents, and you're going to see all the scanner chasers going nuts on this stock. And again, target on this one is a move to around the 40-cent area. We had a very nice move this past week on Yuma, one of our January popper plays. You can see this classic sell-off in November, December chart. Bottomed here. We were waiting for this flag breakout on Wednesday at 15 cents. Our target was the 50-day moving average at 21 cents. So right now, already been a 100% move, consolidating again. Like to see this one chill a little bit, probably on Monday and Tuesday, and then do a similar move as we saw as these stocks continue to stair-step higher. So that's it for the upcoming week. Really looking forward to the action that we're going to see in ReWalk, SNOA, and MLSS, and of course, all the other ones we talked about. Have a great evening, morning, weekend, and see you all in the chat room on Monday. Bye.